know how many of us love to catch these recordings based off of our schedules and social plans. So we're really trying to be intentional about that. But again, my name's Rachel Richards. I am a certified Optavia health coach, and I am here to share with you experientially what has really been working for me on this total program. So, with that, I'm just going to kind of kick it off and let you guys know where we're going to be centered today. And we are going to be in sections 2.16 of your Habit of Health book right here. So with that, we're going to start off with really looking at the true intention of this company, which is not our physical weight. So we are not a weight loss company. We are a personal development organization, and our main interest is your total health, right? We're not just looking at your weight management. That's a very small percentage of what we do. And the reason that we start there is because we know that you cannot attain physical health without the mental health, right? So we want to have that sense of healthy mind, healthy body, healthy finances. And that's really what Optavia does. We're a personal development organization. And many times when people come in, they only have a limited view of what we're offering because that's all they've experienced so far, which is totally fair to say, well, all I know is my body's getting healthy and I'm losing weight and I'm starting to sleep and feel better. And that's beautiful. But the invitation, that you were given in the mail was for so much more than that. And I love that you're going to see that with me today. Today, we're going to talk about your healthy mind. Do you guys remember on your health assessment when your health coach said, how fulfilled are you? And you might have been thinking, like, why are you asking me that? Why are you asking me if I love what I do? Why are you asking me if I'm fulfilled or not? Why are you asking me about my healthy mind? I don't really understand that connection to what I'm eating. And there is a very strong connection, and Dr. A is helping us to see that starting on page 461 of your Habits of Health book. When I spent time with Dr. A, I've been very fortunate to be able to do that on a couple of occasions. And I was actually in his home talking to him, having lunch. It was a beautiful day. And he's got the most amazing home and property and sailboat. And, he's really living a vibrant life. And he asked me about my background, and I told him that I came from nutrition and wellness. And I was sharing with him all of my, early concerns that I had with, really making the shift over to offering more of the services that we offer here. I had been very food centric in my counseling. I had been very food centric in my help to others. And I shared with him some of that. And he said, yeah, I don't really care what they eat. I want to know why they eat it. And I thought, oh, just like boom, right there, right? That made so much sense to me. And I had a shift. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's true. It's not necessarily what we eat, it's why we eat it. And it's what's going on. So, weight loss, if you are here for weight loss is a perfectly fine goal to have, but it's an inside job. So, what we've seen after studying it for years, you got to know that Dr. A has studied it for years. He's actually put his own studies together, his own double blind studies together. He is not new to the idea of weight management. He's not new to that idea. But what he saw was that it's an inside job and that you can't just address the exterior and expect to have breakthrough. And I love that. I love that we are inviting you to do the inside work slowly but surely with your coach and this community. And I really want to talk about that. Give yourself a huge pat on the back for getting up on a Saturday and spending time in this community. Like, that is, you need to be affirmed in that because that's uncommon. And that's not typically what we want to do. We step out of our comfort zone. And one of the pieces that you're receiving in that is a like-minded group of people that are up on a Saturday and we're all trying to find a new way of living. That's really all that this is. It's we're trying to find a new way of living that works for us. And we want to make sure that the behaviors we have are serving us. And so we're gathering together just as common people from all different backgrounds. And we're saying, what's working for you? What's working for you? And we're going to have some sharing today. So today's call is going to be a little bit different. I love these book challenges, but I want them to be more interactive. I think if they're more interactive, they're going to have more power because it really will show you that so many people are like you, struggling like you, winning like you. And so I want to plant that seed in you right now to come off of mute and share when I prompt you so that our community can be the driving force. No one in these calls, we're not experts. I am not an expert. I am just on the way. I've been here 4 years and I'm sharing some things that I think might be helpful, and you get to decide if they are and go, nope, that's not helpful for me, but thanks for offering. Or yes, that's helpful for me. I'll take that. So really that's all that this is. I wanted to level set our expectations for that. For today, I'd like you to draw a big circle on your paper. Okay, it's gonna look a little bit, I don't even know if you could see it. The font is so light, but let's just draw a big circle on our papers. Hopefully you guys come with note taking because you're going to look back on this stuff and be able to help other people with it, and really reflect on how far you've come. And when you guys, I have 2 life books. When I filled up my first one and I go back and I read that stuff now, you guys, I don't remember even writing it. And I have really grown. And that's what this journaling stuff is going to do for you. It's going to show you that you are growing and that you are learning all of the time. Even if the scale isn't giving you high fives every week, you are growing. And it's important to see that. So with that big circle, go ahead and then slice it right down the middle. And then slice it right in half again. And then go ahead and slice it again and again, and you should end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little triangles there, okay? And I want you to write in them, we'll go kind of quickly, marriage and partnership, okay? Family, your mental well-being, your physical health, your career, and we'll say career/healthy finances, okay? Your adventure, your play, put play in there. And then put your faith, your personal belief systems in there. And then also your sense of fulfillment, put that in there, okay? And we should have filled up all of them, okay? We should have filled up all of them. And then go ahead and when you have a chance, you don't have to do it on this call, but when you have a chance, start rating them 1 to 10. So maybe right now your physical health is like, oh my gosh, I just finished the 5 and 1. I closed my inductive phase. I'm at my healthy weight. I'm starting to work out. Maybe that's really a strong 8
Rachel.
9, something
Hi,
like that.
Rachel. Can you repeat those? Some people probably missed some of those.
Sure. It started
Thank you.
with marriage and partnership. Then it went family, right? Family, how well we're functioning in our families, how well our families are functioning, mental well-being, mindset, your current mindset, your physical health, your career and sense of fulfillment, and we'll say healthy finances. Sorry, that was career and finances. Your sense of adventure, your playtime, playing, and then the other one, this last one, or there's 2, was fulfillment. So your sense of purpose and fulfillment in this world, and then your faith and your personal belief systems in that space. Okay. So when you get a chance, go through and rate them 1 to 10. And what we're looking to do in this community is increase your sense of fulfillment, your sense of financial health. Guys, we're not here to talk about what you're eating. We took care of that. We made it so stinking goof proof that we wanted you to be able to focus on the other things that are getting in the way of your optimal health and well-being. That's why we made the food so easy, is because we wanted you to experience the time in working on these other areas of your life that are probably causing your physical health to fall out of harmony and balance. Okay, so let's kind of look at our books, and there's a couple things that I want to share with you, and I'm actually going to go to page, sorry, we're going to just jump to 465. And Dr. A is talking about the quest of fulfillment. Okay. And so we think we can be duped. We can be duped into thinking that being at a certain physical presence, body composition, having a certain amount of income in our bank account, having a certain type of car, all of these things, that they're going to bring us fulfillment. And I think that most of you have probably experienced what I experienced with that, which is there always was a hole in the bag. You know, I always felt like there just wasn't enough, it wasn't good enough, and there was a hole in the bag in terms of my fulfillment. And what we're finding is people are fulfilled when the things that matter the most to them are in the right order. And sometimes it's difficult to do that. So with our program, we share, when we sit with clients like all of you and us ourselves, and we say, what matters the most to you? The typical responses are faith, marriage, kids, work, others. And then here's the problem with that. Those things are getting prioritized over health. And so what happens is the ability to show up well in those areas is really suffering because we're focused on doing versus being well. Okay, there is a difference. In order to be well, we have to focus on the life force principles of your body: hydration, nutrition, detoxification, sleep, movement, all the things this program embodies. If we attain that, we're able to show up well in those other areas of marriage, children, work, etc. So Dr. A, he believes that the lack of fulfillment is killing our country. He believes that emotional mismanagement is killing our country. He doesn't believe that it's about the food. He believes that the food is just a symptom of a greater issue, or the drinking, or the spending, or whatever it is, fill in the blank, right? So he's inviting us into a space. I want you to think about this. You've been invited into a space where you could say, you know what? The current life that I have, it's not serving me. The way that I'm going about my day, it's not serving me. These friendships are not serving me. This workplace is not serving me. And he's giving you a chance to look at rewriting your story. And I'll share with you personally, I have had to rewrite my story. I had a story that I started out on. And just to summarize it, it was all about performance. It was all about climbing the corporate ladder. It was all about proving what I could do. I had a strong need to perform. I had a strong need for validation. I needed others to think high of me. I was struggling in my healthy mind, and I was very good at certain things. So I started to perform my way through life. And the problem was I was good at it. So then it rewarded me financially. So then I found myself in a job that I hated, but I was really good at it. And I was being recognized, and I was a high earner, and I had all the things that people would say, good job. But at night, it was nowhere near what I wanted to be doing when I was a little girl. I wasn't laying in bed saying, oh, I want to sell point of sale software around the globe and, all those things. So this chapter, this part of this book, it really resonated with me to say, we can look at our lives and say, is this serving me? And if it isn't, it's not that we can maybe cut it overnight. I couldn't cut mine overnight. I had to make my way out of that. But I really found that I was missing a sense of fulfillment. And now I wake up every day and I jump out of bed because I'm helping other people to live life differently. And I love that. So Dr. A is sharing with us that success is typically attractiveness, fame, and wealth. Okay, that's how the world is going to define that for you. And he's saying that it isn't. It's, listen to what his definition of fulfillment is. And maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, but at least you're thinking about it. People who wholeheartedly desire to contribute to their community have more vitality and higher feelings of connection. And those covet and organize their behaviors around more internal strivings versus external strivings. So now I'm going to pause for some interaction. Have you, any of you, started to experience more of an internal satisfaction since you've connected to this community, started thinking differently, started questioning your decisions, the order of your decisions? And are you seeing that, you know what, it can't be external, it can't be outside of me? Do you guys know that's why we give you these books and these calls? Because we want so badly for you to have intrinsic, inside of you, intrinsic motivation that nobody can take away from you or control, because it's not external, it's intrinsic. You're deeply attached to the decisions that you're making because they are absolutely showing up in your life. And so let's have a little bit of sharing. I know it might feel scary, but guys, the more you share, the more it becomes real for you. So I see Carol's hand up. And then is there anybody else that would like to just share? You know, this program has been like a smelling salt, right? Carol, are you there?
I'm there. I will just share quickly. I think one of the things we always look for when we say healthy is what the outcome, what does it look like on the outside? And I think the emphasis is it starts internally, just like our faith. We ask Jesus into our heart, he comes into our life, and things change and we become better. And this is just so in line with what and how we should be, is to internally look at, okay, how did I get here? For me, I'm more of a quiet person. I would never really speak, but I enjoy Saturday mornings. Carol Kennedy is my coach. We have been roommates when we were in college. She knows that I wake up at noon. I no longer wake up at noon. I wake up at 6 a.m. and I'm ready to go. And it's because I now have a healthier body type and I have a healthier mind. And it is 100% this program. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you for your personal share and perspective. We honor that and appreciate that. Does anyone else want to share? I see Allie and Bonnie.
Yep, I'll share real quick. Just like you said, how are things showing up in our everyday life? For me, it's stuff like this and like the calls. It really makes you think about, like, if you're not a reader or you're having a problem like reading the books, these calls make it really easy because it gets your interest spiked, and then you do jump in the book, and then there's books that are mentioned on a lot of calls. So I've read more books in the last few months than I probably ever have. And those books are really making me think about my mindset. And, with this program, I'm making better choices daily. I have a huge sweet tooth, or I had a sweet tooth. And I just know through this program that sweets do not serve my body at all. I mean, and I know what an Oreo cookie tastes like. So if I want one, because I'm in optimization, I'll have one. Whereas before I would have easily had 10 to 15. And I mean, I hate to admit that, but it's just making changes. And like, I'm sorry, the previous person that spoke, I love waking up in the morning, and I used to always think I was energized, but I was just keeping myself busy all day. But the minute I sat down, I was crashing. And now I can sit down, I can read, I can just take a break for a second, and I still feel great interacting with clients and the community. It has been absolutely mind blowing for me. Mind blowing, because I thought I was doing so great before, and I really wasn't. And now I do feel like I am, but I'm still growing. So.
Oh, that's so good. So, so, so good. And it resonates with me because I remember meeting you, for the first time, and you just grown and grown and grown, and you inspire all of us to keep going. And I love that you pointed out the habit of reading. When I do a health assessment, I can't make anybody do anything, but I encourage, would you be willing to do a little self-care and start reading 5 minutes a day? Because guys, what we see is when people do that, it becomes a neural pathway, and here's what they say, what's funny? I thought I hated reading, but I'm actually learning to love to read again. And so if you read this book, you'll read other books. And if you read books, you have a chance of reprogramming that confirmation bias. Remember that you believe everything you think. You believe everything you think, and your brain will just show you more of what you think. So in order to have new learning, we have to have new information. We cannot rely on old information to have a new life. And so that's why we're giving you a chance at that each and every day. You don't have to read, but we encourage you to do so. All right, Bonnie, would you like to share?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Rachel. Good morning. Hey, it's kind of cool because as I'm learning and growing, and I've failed at other programs, and to me, this program has helped me. I've been on 11 months, and it's helped me to just take an introspective look, or introspective look in myself, and kind of like the blooming onion. It's like layer by layer, and the reason why I do things and how I am. And I'm not going to undo 50 plus years of habits, but I am going to continue to work on myself. And really, it's so true. Everything has to do between my ears and how I think and who I am, and that I am worth it, and that I am able to unpackage things and work through things and not use food as my go-to. And I know it's going to be a lifetime journey for me, because it's always a struggle, but the struggle is getting better and better in terms of lessening and realizing a lot of things. So that's kind of where I'm at. So
I love it. So happy for you. Absolutely so happy for you to receive that. I do want to challenge you today with a little action. So let's put a little feet on this. So people who wholeheartedly desire to contribute to their community had more vitality and higher feelings of connection. So maybe in Nourished this week, you're a part of Nourished. That's our community. That's our safe place to work it out and unbecome and become. And really, it could be tempting in there to just be a consumer, right? Where you're like, oh, this recipe, oh, this person's story, they just lit themselves on fire and that spoke to me. We get that. But this week, would you be willing to contribute? Maybe a really transparent something, or a recipe, or just some of the things that you're struggling with that your life book is showing you. And what you're going to see is the fruit of that will be, you're going to grow. So every time you make a deposit into the community, you're going to see that sense of vitality come up. I know it's tempting to stand back and consume, but contributing is going to feed you more than consuming. Okay. And it says, there's research that says when we're a part of a like-minded community and we share and we grow, it says that we have higher levels of mental stability. Okay. Mental stability is another word of self-management. What we're really learning here is self-management. So this week, as you go through your wheel of things, I want to show you a tool. So it's not just like, okay, well, I'm reading this and please read this element or this section, because Dr. A is trying to show you, as the 10th board certified surgeon in the United States, he knows a couple things. And he's saying, when I did open heart surgeries and all of these things, it was their faulty, over squeezed, overtaxed, unfulfilled life that had them in that position. So he believes in this wholeheartedly. But when you're looking at your wheel this week, Maybe you just take your sense of adventure, guys. Let's use that. And maybe right now you're like, "Ugh, my adventure, I'm in a master's program. Like I don't have any adventure. I'm studying all day. I don't go outside. I eat the fuelings. I get my lean and green. I'm just trying to get through it, right? And I understand that. I've done some really hard things in my life that were messy and they required a lot of focus and grit. However, if your adventure has slipped all the way down to like a 1 or a 2, and you can't remember the last belly laugh you had, or the real good time with a friend, or a hike in nature where nobody was bothering you, or a swim in the lake, or anything, and you're like, I don't have any adventure, then why don't we start with that and look at your structured tension chart? And I want you to think about your current reality. This is always how we change. Dr. A is teaching us the science of human transformation, and it's pretty scientific. So we start out with our current reality and we have to acknowledge it. That's why we step on the scale. Okay, we're like, oh, there it is. There's the weight. Got it. Where do I want to go? That's your desired outcome. Then the secondary steps that need to happen, the choices that you make are in the middle. So maybe you're like, yeah, no sense of adventure right now. It's a 1. I would like to see it go to a 4 because you're learning that we don't go from 1 to 10, right? That's like futile. It's not sustainable to go from a 1 to a 10. That's why we don't teach it. We go 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, all the way, because now we have a neural pathway. And that neural pathway is what we call skill power, and it beats willpower all day long. Okay. Willpower is weak. It's an emotion. It's not rooted in neuroscience, and it comes and goes, and we can't root our changes in willpower. So when you think about sense of adventure and play, what little thing can you do today to increase that? Do you need to watch a funny movie? Do you need to go, like, what do you need to do? And then how do you put that as a rock in your schedule? Because you're the CEO of your calendar in your life, and you get to decide what gets your time. And then ask yourself, what is getting in the way of my sense of adventure? Is it mindlessly scrolling, checking out everybody else's sense of adventure on Facebook? Oh, look at them. They're in, oh, look at, oh, they're at the river. Oh, that looks so fun. Okay. Maybe that's the robbery right there, is checking out everybody else's sense of adventure instead of creating our own and saying, I'm out of that. I'm going to put limits on my social media this week, because that 15, 20 minutes at a time of doing that, watching everyone else have that life that we want, or we think we do, it's robbing us. So now we can redirect that and we can go out and ride a bike. Maybe you have a bike in your garage like I do that has a flat. I need to fix that. I need to go ride my bike. There's no point in having a bike in my garage that has a flat. That's something I thought about before I talked to you, and I need to fix it. Okay, it's tangible, it's easy. I need to go ride my bike. It's simple. I need to go play. I want to do the things that bring me adventure, so that in that mindless playing, you guys, that's when I get some of my greatest downloads. Anybody else, when you're doing something totally mundane and you're like, I just got a download that is really important, and you're going to find that it comes when you're playing, and it comes when you're doing something trivial. And you're like, that's crazy. I was on a hike today and I just had this clear message of something. Try me, test it, put it in Nourished, you guys. Let's take the challenge together to go play and have these, kindred hearts around living a life that's meaningful, and not just existing or watching other people with fame, wealth, perfect bodies get us trapped into something extrinsic that feels unattainable. And Dr. A is saying, no, it's very attainable for you to have a life that serves you. Okay. So this chapter, we're going to be in it again next week because it's rich. There's so much stuff here. And I believe, after being here for 4 years as a client and a coach, this section is the heart of Optavia. Like, if you read this and you listen to Dr. A, you're going to see he doesn't care what you eat. He tried to make that so easy. He wants you to care about everything else you let in your life, every friendship, every job, every hour you spend. And he says, what if we just were conscious about everything we allowed in our life and we ushered out anything in our life that doesn't serve us? How would our eating be? Well, it would be better because we wouldn't be eating out of boredom or anger or, all the things that happen when we're not fulfilled. How many boredom eaters are in the house besides me? I am a boredom eater. Anybody else? Where I'm just like standing in the pantry going, what's happening? And that's time that I could be out having some adventure or serving my community in some capacity, bringing me the fulfillment so that I'm not a boredom eater. All right, so David Neal, are you on? David Neal, you are the winner of our wellness credit for this week. And we actually have a catch-up one to do from last week, and I will post that today in Nourished. So we're behind on our giveaways, but David Neal, you won today's wellness credit. Thank you for showing up. We have another winner that I will go post in Nourish, so stay tuned for that. But our challenge today was finish your wheel, rate all of those 1 to 10. Don't try to tackle them all, just tackle one through structured tension. Work with your coach this week and say, I would like your help and insight in one of the things on my wheel that I'm seeing is not there that I want to improve. Will you help me with that? And we will. We're not counselors or therapists, but we have had to improve our life in all of those areas. And as coaches, we get this insane investment from the company on our healthy mind, and we might have a nugget for you. Okay. So, and then again, the invitation is wide open for all of you to start experience the fulfillment that we're having by paying it forward. My program came to life when I started helping my friends and family. That's when my program came to life. That is not a sales pitch to get you to coach. Okay? That's truly the intention of this program, is that each one would teach one and go impact their community and make a difference, and that we would give it away and see it, do it, and teach it as fast as we can. Because on our 14th day on program, our whole life was different. On my day 14, you guys, I woke up, my whole life was different. So why would I wait years to give it away? I gave it away on day 15 and I became a coach and a guide, and I've been here ever since. So if you want to look at what that is and what that isn't, we will lovingly guide you through what it looks like to refer and get your community healthy or guide. They both are beautiful. And there's pros and cons to both. And we'll honestly share with you what it is and what it isn't without any pressure to do anything. Okay, it's just part of our mission to get people healthy. Have a very blessed day. Thank you all for joining. And we will pop this in Nourish. And then next week, we will dig into this a little bit further and figure out how to have a healthy mind so that we can keep this healthy body that we're creating. Take care, everyone.